say thanks for having me here today on this day of honor.
Appreciate it. That's short people.
A little talk. Thank you for having me today on this day of honor. I really appreciate it. This year we come to recognize those Americans, patriots, who have given their very lives in defense of our great nation as we observe the 140th anniversary of Memorial Day. Let me begin today, like any good officer, with a brief lesson in history. Some of you probably know a little bit more about this history than even I do, but for those who aren't aware of it, I'm going to recap it just a little bit here. While many communities lay claim to the birth of Memorial Day, it was the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of Union veterans who proclaimed Decoration Day on May 5th, 1868. It was proclaimed as a day for citizens to place flowers on the graves of the Civil War dead. The nation's first large observance was held that year at Arlington National Cemetery, near Washington, D.C., to honor Union and Confederate soldiers. By the end of the 19th century, the Decoration Day ceremonies were held across the country on May 30th. It was not until after World War I that that day was expanded to honor those who have died in all American wars. Then in 1971, Congress declared Memorial Day a national holiday. Memorial Day differs vastly from Veterans Day and the recently celebrated Armed Forces Day in that Veterans Day pays tribute to every veteran who has served our great nation, while the Armed Forces Day recognizes those currently serving. This year's Memorial Day has an even more special meaning for those Americans who have lost loved ones in combat since last year's memorial service. As we remember those who most recently gave their lives serving our country, we must also remember the hundreds of thousands who have gone before them. Starting with the American Revolution, to the Civil War, through the World Wars, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, and all the liberations in between, and to today's current operations on the War on Terror. America's military forces have built a tradition of honorable, dedicated, and faithful service. It is interesting to note that America's war dead will not only be remembered today in the United States, but also at gatherings around the globe. Many countries in Europe, to include England, France, Belgium, Denmark, Norway, Italy, Luxembourg, Sweden, and Germany, honor World War American veterans on Memorial Day for the sacrifices our veterans made to reopen the way to their freedom. One long-running overseas ceremony is in Cambridge, England. Hundreds of English citizens will attend an American Memorial Day service today at the Cambridge American Military Cemetery there. They come to honor the more than 3,800 Americans who are buried there on land donated by Cambridge University in 1944. This site is one of 14 permanent American World War II military cemeteries on foreign soil. Dedicated as a national cemetery in 1956, President Eisenhower the Cambridge American Military Cemetery features a chapel, reflecting pools, and a wall of the missing, where the names of more than 5,000 soldiers are etched. President Eisenhower said, "The Americans whose names are on the wall of the missing were part of the price that free men were forced to pay to defend human liberty and rights." He declared that day, "All who shall hereafter live in freedom will be here reminded that to these men and their comrades we owe a debt to be paid with grateful remembrance of their sacrifice and high resolve that the cause for which they died shall live eternally." Indeed, the honor, the valor, and the sacrifice made by our American soldiers, and the love, the dedication, and the support of Americans has inspired many other countries to hold their very own day of remembrance for their own country's fallen soldiers as an inspiration. Now I would like to share with you the Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit, and I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert, and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States. I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier. Sadly, though, traditional observances of Memorial Day has diminished in America over the years. Many Americans nowadays have forgotten the true meaning and traditions of Memorial Day. At many cemeteries, the graves of the fallen heroes are increasingly ignored or neglected. Most people no longer even remember the proper flag etiquette for the day. While there are towns and cities that still hold Memorial Day parades, many have not held a parade in decades. To help re-educate and remind Americans of the true meaning of Memorial Day, the National Moment of Remembrance resolution was passed in December of 2000, which asked that on Memorial Day at 3 p.m. for all Americans to voluntarily and informally observe their own way of a moment of remembrance and respect, pausing from whatever they are doing for a moment of silence or to listen to taps. And in 2004, the Memorial Day Parade returned once again to Washington, D.C. after a long absence of over 60 years. It coincided with the dedication of the National World War II Memorial. Not merely just an event for Washington, but an event for the entire country. A major parade which seeks to draw the attention of Americans to the real meaning of the holiday, honoring those who have served and died to preserve our freedom in the American way of life. Today, we should actively remember our ancestors, our family members, our loved ones, and our neighbors who have given the ultimate sacrifice for this country. On this and every Memorial Day, we must never forget the meaning and to remember those proud patriots who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of liberty's blessings. I'd like to close my time with you today with a poem written to honor those who gave all during the Civil War. It's called In Flanders Fields by Moya Michael. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies. God bless America, God bless Americans, and God bless our soldiers. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant Ferguson. That was fantastic.